Alright. It is now the time for more Sonic Forces. We are here at the world map, looking over the vast beige ocean. What do you think of the ocean?
It's usually a lot more blue like that land over there.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think last part was the first time we filled in the world map with taking back territory from Eggman. Does basically nothing, if I recall. It's just a bit of flavour.
Yeah, it's on the spot texture changing. So the game is going deep within its files and changing the texture.
Back to Chemical Plant we go.
Here we go. This is the stage where it has the physics, the bad physics example, and it's at the beginning of the stage. Here we go.
Alright, so we gotta go fast.
Yep. And if I wasn't rolling,
that's great. And
if I wasn't rolling there, it would have been like a pathetic, like, I don't think I would have actually even made it to the top of the ramp, actually.
Oh, is it? I thought it was always the other way around. That if you weren't rolling, that's when you make it to the top.
No. It's if you were like running on foot the entire way, Sonic wouldn't have enough speed to make it to the top of the ramp. That's how it is. But I kind of did both.
Yes.
I kind of did both and ended up not. Getting the upper path, which I don't think even does that much in terms of saving time. But
it just showcases how weird the physics in this game look.
Yeah,
that's one thing I've noticed. I feel like one thing I've noticed with a lot of these more modern Sonic games, besides Mania, is that while there's always, like, with the boost stuff, you know, they still try and emphasize speed and such with the game design and such. I feel like the idea of momentum has been lost on Sonic Team for quite a while now.
Well, if you really, I think another example of that speed focus is in Sonic Mania, because there are some clear sections of the levels that are just dedicated to speed.
Oh yeah, that's why I specify like Sonic Team and such, because I've said before, Sonic Mania is pretty great, but
Sonic Mania was essentially the B team of Sonic Team, whereas Sonic Forces was
Sonic Mania was.
You know?
Sonic Mania was made by sort of basically fan creators, though, wasn't it? Like they hired fan creators, and then they made Sonic Mania.
They did.
Basically, it was free from Sonic Team's involvement, sort of. I think.
I know that Iizuka was essentially just calling the shots, like, because I know that he was the one that decided on the name Sonic Mania.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Many of the ideas came from, like, you know, Christian Whitehead, you know, Headcanon Pagoda West and all that.
Yeah, and well, I don't know how much of this is true, but I think Iizuka was also the one who advocated for older themes in Sonic Mania, so that might be the reason.
Yeah, which is one of the more yeah, and that's one of the more, I guess, controversial parts of it, isn't it?
It is. It's
one of the more controversial parts.
Well, a lot of people say that the 4 new stages that we did get in Sonic Mania were the best parts of the game. And while the other levels are not, you know, are not that harmful in a way, it is still an older theme that we've seen before, and we just want new stuff.
Some of which we're still seeing here as well.
Yeah, well, in a lesser state of being, I guess. You still have Green Hill, you still have Chemical Plant, but after that, it's essentially just Brick and Mortar City, Grand Metropolis, Apple City, and
a Sonic 3 Knuckles stage.
Really?
Your
Oh,
Death
right,
Egg, yeah,
right, right, right. Death Egg,
isn't
Death Egg.
it?
Right, it's kind of in that case, it's kind of split in half with the kind of levels that there are in here. There's let's see, the Death Egg, Green Hill, and Chemical Plant for classic, and then for the new stages in Sonic Forces, Sunset Heights, Grand Metropolis, and the Casino Forest.
Which still that uses bits and pieces of like the traditional kind of like casino night sort of design from games past and such, doesn't it?
Kind of,
At least in the
sorta.
2D segment. At
Kind
least
of.
in 2D segment, because you have the water slide stuff in
classic
3D.
Sonic stages, yeah, but in the other stages, like for modern Sonic and for the Avatar, it's not as like apparent that it's supposed to be a casino forest. It's more forest than casino, and for classic, it's more casino than forest. So,
Yeah.
is this the
the
Metal Sonic
spot.
fight? I I think it is.
Yep. They're just talking about that in the story there.
Oh yeah, speaking of story, do you want to go over that? Because I think we touched on it a few bit, like a little bit in the beginning.
I think before with this stage coming up, I think before story, I'd like to talk about the music actually in this game,
Right,
because it's a
sure.
it's a bit strange for Sonic. I think it's not generally like I don't think people hate it, but it's generally not
It's a mixed bag.
highly praised either, is it?
It's a mixed bag.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, because you have stuff
think,
like this, like you have like the remix of the what is it?
the U.S.
I can't remember the stage.
The U.S. Stardust Speedway.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, US Stars Speedway, Bad Future. Like you
Yeah.
have this. I think it's a nice remix, and when I watched Clement's playthrough, the good old great Clement, which is where I got most of my Sonic knowledge from.
Just trying to get all the references.
Yeah, that's where I he showcased like I guess the Avatar stage songs, and it's like those are pretty good too. And I think I'm not sure if I've said yet, but I do quite like the sort of the main song of this game. The
Fist bump.
Fist Bump. That's it. Even though I'm forgetting it, yeah.
I've warmed up to Fist Bump. They're like it's legitimately it's legitimately exciting. I don't know about that. I don't know what the word is, but it pumps you up, and I think that's a good quality to have for a Sonic game.
I mean, yeah, it kind of reminds me of I guess some of the older 3D games with their songs in a way. However, there are the thing is the music in this game is still pretty split and a bit subpar for Sonic standards. Because then there's things like the classic stages.
Yeah, those I don't think all of them are bad, but they are on the lower end of quality, and that's mainly because of them trying to emulate the Genesis sound chip, which I share the opinion of someone else that said this. But if you're going to emulate this sound, if you're going to go out of your way to emulate the Genesis sound chip, you might as well just use the Genesis sound chip, or at least something that. Yeah, just use the chip, dude.
Yeah, it's been done more successfully before. And then there's like Sonic stages, which I don't really remember the music of much.
It's like generic anime openings. Someone puts it. I don't know who. I keep saying someone.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like classic Sonic. They're a little more hit or miss, but it's not as bad as classic Sonic's music. And I will agree that Avatar is the best part of this, but the best thing about Sonic Forces soundtrack are those remixes. Like from the episode Shadow and all that, and
yeah,
and
that's right. This game has
Yeah, and
Was
I
this
don't.
episode Shadow DLC?
Yeah, it was, and I think it's a free download too. I'm not sure
Ah,
about
okay.
that. But I'm not even sure if I even recorded episode Shadow, because I think like the breakoff point for episode Shadow was was when we group up with Shadow after Sunset Heights.
Hmm.
That's that's where it's supposed to break off into episode Shadow.
He plays a bit differently, Shadow, doesn't he? I think he has the basically the light speed attack, and is that it?
Let's see, Shadow is able to homing attack on a string of enemies and follow that. So
Yeah, like the light speed
I
attack from older games.
I
From
guess
what
in
I
that case
understand.
I guess in that case it is the light speed attack, but it functions a little differently from the actual light speed attack. It functions more like the light speed
Uh,
dash, but for enemies. You know.
I mean, I know you can use Shadow in modern Sonic stages, but
Yes.
are you even able, are there any opportunities to use that ability in the base game stages?
No, as far as I know. As far as I know, no.
Jeepers.
And that's mainly because the shadow stages were made for that attack in mind, and even then, it's not really all that great of an ability because you don't really get to use it that much, and it's only there for like certain red rings and all that. It's pretty useless outside of that.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'm
Yeah,
showing
here's some of that
off.
music I was talking about. I think what really
Yeah,
does it. Sorry to interrupt, but I think what really does it for the Avatar is the fact that most of their, if not all of their sort of song stages have like, or the stage of songs have lyrics to them. So it
yeah.
certainly helps, I think, in that regard.
Uh, the lyrics themselves are pretty repetitious, if you ask me. And and
Yeah.
and, and I've also saw uh, a video by Mr. Pascal, who basically made fun of the soundtrack of Forces. And I keep seeing his edits in my head whenever, especially for this song right here in Guardian Rock. I hear, I hear the song. I imagine his edits immediately, and it's not. It's I don't know if that's like a good look for the game. If I remember it through an edit that someone did.
Uh,
Yeah. Give me cancer. Turn around. That's the one that comes to mind.
oh god.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
It's not. It's not.
Uh,
It's not the condition. It's the crab. See, we're running from it right now.
mhm. What do you think of these, I guess, little segments in the game where the
Pointless.
quick time events, basically, cutscenes,
Pointless.
stuff like that?
They're
Pointless.
they're pointless. They do nothing for the game. They're just spectacle to have spectacle.
Yes. I just kind of wish that maybe, if you could actually participate in the spectacle, like it's
Yeah.
actually part of the gameplay and such instead of a big, like,
Honestly,
old God of War sort of scene.
I want to see that. I want to see that crab enemy just become a normal enemy in the stage. You know,
Yeah, that would be interesting.
like
But then you need bigger stages.
yeah, yeah. But you can have like a Shadow of the Colossus type climbing section, and then like just stomp down on the core, like on the head of the
Yeah,
bot,
imagine
and then
that.
slam down.
Like a stage or a boss where you're speeding up like the top of giant robots and such.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Well, not in this game.
Not in this game. Maybe next game. Whatever they have cooking up for Sonic's 30th, which we still haven't found out
Yeah.
anything about.
Hmm. Well,
The only thing
yeah,
we do know, the only thing we do know
but
about is that the Yakuza director wants to make a Sonic game.
that would be interesting for certain.
I would play it. I would play it. I got 3 of their games right now.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's it.
So join us back for part 7.
Yeah. See ya.
Dude, you gonna be alright?
Dude, shut up!